Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Warrior Nun Season 1, Episode 5, Matthew 7:13, which is a much easier title to watch. This show has already surpassed my expectations and I can just sense that it's growing into something that I'm going to love even more than I already do now. The last episode had quite the cliffhanger with Lilith being there for Ava, and I do think the priest and Mary were maybe on their way to the orphanage too, so maybe they'll intercept her, but then I think Lilith had taken out all of the scientist people's men, so maybe they won't be there, but who knows what's going to happen. If Ava gets away, is she going to run to the port to try and be with her boyfriend, who I think is called JC rather than Diego? Sorry, Diego's the little boy. Yeah, there is so much going on here. If you would like to watch the unedited version of this reaction, it is up on Patreon along with the next 2 episodes, and the next edited episode is also up on Patreon. So if you're on YouTube, you can always do that. And anyone who is my Patreon, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And yeah, I'm really excited for this episode. Let's go. Oh goodness, she's unarmed. How could you think this was a holy thing to do?
That's right. You bailed. Brought this on yourself.
Not really. She was murdered. And then, thank you, Mary. And then had that put in against her will, and now you're trying to take over her life. Lilith. If anything, God ordained Ava to have it, so get over yourself. You'd be like, excuse me.
Of course he left me. Can we, go now?
Something's up. What is it?
Oh.
May or may not be people following.
Come on, there's no way they can track us.
Oh.
They do, check it out. This boat
How far is she getting?
then comes back.
Oh god. Do they have some kind of boat?
Right now, I need you to do both.
Yeah.
Find the good.
Tough, just be better. Come on.
Entering a new era of enlightenment. And I propose
In the real world, like I always say, I would so be on her side in this, but her methods are not ones I approve of.
travel beyond this universe.
Just pop into heaven.
Found in books, scripture. God
But you have no idea this is your belief, same as that's theirs.
gave us.
Are you suggesting that the church may take action against you?
They will have me killed. If I die, blame the church. Oh my goodness, she's properly exposing the warrior nuns.
Because I discovered the gateway to it.
You literally don't know where it leads. You said so yourself. We honestly just don't know.
This is for the soul of humanity.
A good chunk of humanity isn't Catholic or Christian though, so
It's over. I'm finally free.
you still have a halo in your back, sweetie.
Hey, your shirt is covered in blood and people are chasing you.
It's hard because how can she doesn't really understand it fully herself.
I'm doing my job
No, you're not.
more than I
You're doing what the little cardinal says because it's going to benefit you.
I don't trust
No, it wasn't.
a very weird old ring.
Not lying.
I spent my life in an orphanage.
Playing the sympathy card. I am officially a dick.
I mean, it's true.
Accident?
Well, it all makes sense now.
What does?
That probably came off wrong, but
You're very weird.
talk about your past.
Oh, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Is the traffic team going to come for her? Because that's still after her, right?
Why are you so uneasy about releasing the shield to His Eminence?
Because he's a shady dude. Are you trustworthy? It's
Anything else?
much safer just behind walls that already was in.
I don't think it was a notice.
Oh, this man's such a weasel.
And remain loyal.
Loyalty is key.
Yeah, to the order. By
You
that.
may always count on me to remain faithful.
She doesn't mean to you. Yep. Has he been to all these places?
Okay, let's change that. Just pick one. Anyone.
Exactly, he'll be a good tour guide. And she beat her to it.
Why are you protecting her?
Because she's an innocent,
I'm just doing what I was told.
and you should protect innocent people.
Cared about orders.
Lilith, think about what God would want you to do in this situation. It's not this.
Do not try to get sympathy from me because you're too much of a coward to send it to your mommy and your daddy.
I mean, it's true. It's one thing to feel bad, it's another thing to let it shape your entire personality and make you into a bitch. In the water you go. Splish, splash, splosh. Splish, splash, splosh.
Seeing everything for the first time.
Seeing everything for the first time is definitely something you can envy her for.
Feel like smart girl.
She sees a lot in Ava there's a lot of potential there. Much less romantic place for their first kiss, but it'll do. Children, this is not the place for this.
Being transported. I can tell you how to get it.
And in exchange,
He's willing to be shady, but that might mean he's not properly evil.
I want you to back off of the girl.
He wants to protect Ava. Is he secretly Ava's father? Is he telling her how to find it? Because she hasn't agreed to his terms. See, she's not got anything here identifying her as a nun or as anyone religious, which means that if she were to do something illegal and be seen, then one would blame it on a warrior nun group. Jesus Christ. This one, on the other hand, everyone would be like, oh, there's a crazy nun on the boat. Do you really think God wants you to fight one of your sisters, kill a girl who he had brought back to life, so you can have personal power? Renounce your oath right now.
What you know is right. Just because you let Shannon die,
Oh my god.
you have to keep trying to save this one.
Yeah, do it. Gonna find a crazy beat up nun in our toilets. See, I'm not entirely sure that he's not doing his own thing here, that I still don't trust the priest, because this benefits the priest. Because he's now proving that the cardinal was wrong to try and take the shield away, and that if the cardinal had left the shield in this order of the crucifix sword, it all would have been fine. So I personally still don't trust the priest. I still think he might have his own means and own
Inside the church.
reasons.
church isn't disarray.
Yeah, the fact that he came to them shows that. But yeah, I still think there's a good chance that both the cardinal and the priest we know that they're working for their own aims, and that the priest may be the one that was behind Shannon, or at least he's untrustworthy. Does she hope that if she can make this portal, she'll get her kid through it and he'll be fine? That does explain a lot. It really does. About her motivations. They're less sinister and power hungry and more sad and desperate.
I just called myself the Halo Bearer.
Hmm.
I need another drink.
Ooh. At least if she meets Mary now, he won't be around to see.
I can help you.
I do think Mary wants what's best for you in this situation. It's so hard because I'm with Ava. She deserves to get to go and have a life. She deserves to not have to go and become a crazy warrior nun. Which, I mean, to someone that has not been raised in this, is crazy. Oh, for God's sake. And yeah, at the same time, she is the Halo bearer. She has the Halo. It's what's keeping her alive. So you can also completely understand what Mary is saying.
She is not going anywhere.
I mean, she's trying to, yeah.
God damn it, Ava!
But Lilith, you can't just murder her. Oh god, and it's the scary one after them. Beat her up, Ava. Ugh. I know it's completely unlikely because Ava has 0 training.
Your loss.
See? This bitch. I mean, she's willing to murder someone for wanting her own life. Lilith is a monster. I knew this thing was coming because the halo was activated, yeah? Can they see this one? Oh, he's finding out the hard way. Please don't let him die. Because she'll never forgive herself. Oh my goodness, I did not expect that. Oh yeah, this is a rude awakening for him. She finally did something that was responsible and part of her order. Oh, Lilith's heart is good. When it came down to it at the end, she did the right thing. Oh my god, she literally went to hell!
What was that thing, huh?
Oh, they're gonna have to take him with them, right, to explain it? Because the person knows? My goodness. Oh, sweetheart. Yeah. Oh, he's had a rude awakening. And she's had to watch another sister die, and one that she's been arguing with, but that they used to be close. Wow, that was a lot. So, that was a lot. that was a lot more than I was expecting with Lilith. I mean, they made me hate her so much, and I'm actually feeling kind of sad about her death. I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say that I'm a terrible person, and there is a small part of me that's like, thank God she's gone, because I really couldn't stand her. Maybe if they do open a portal to hell, she'll survive being stabbed and bleeding, and then she'll come through. Who knows? But yeah, Lilith was not acting in a way that she should, and she was acting in a self-centered, selfish way that she was the most important. I hated her, but I do feel bad for her being dead. You know, even if she'd been done nothing good, I wouldn't have been just rejoicing in her death. But when it comes down to it, in that room we had Ava, Mary, JC and Lilith, and if one of them had to die, I'm glad it was her. But also at the same time, she died sacrificing herself for Ava, and I know that she was protecting the Halo because, you know, it wasn't a case of, oh, he would just, you know, kill Ava and then she could grab the Halo. He would have taken Ava to hell, and that would have been like the end of their entire order and the world. So technically she didn't do something just heroic just to save Ava. She was doing like her ultimate purpose, but her final action there was to do something that killed her, was to do something heroic, self-sacrificing. She told Ava to pick up the sword. She wasn't like, you've killed me, bitch. You know, she was quite like heroic. So in the end, Lilith, and that's what I hope in a way Lilith is remembered for, that she sacrificed herself for the Halo Bearer, that she sacrificed herself for the world. That will maybe be something that her family can look on proudly, and when she's in hell she can look up at the earth, if you can do that from hell, and be happy about that. And I don't know, hopefully if you're a die but you're like a nun, you still get to go to heaven, because I suppose on the balance she was still a good person. Then we have Mary, who was at odds with Lilith, but as we heard them saying, they were very close once. And until Shannon got the Halo over her, they were very close. And so she will have those memories of that bond. And this is yet another sister that she has lost, yet another person that she went through all of these turmoil and troubles with that she has lost. And that is going to be brutal. And it's going to be hard for all of the nuns, for Beatrice and everyone back home, because they are such a sisterhood. So that is really awful to think that she had to watch it. But then JC is so sweet. Like when we first met him, I was like, it's a bit too good to be true. But he just genuinely seems like a really well-meaning, sweet guy. He maybe has a little bit con-arting and, you know, a little dodgy, but on the scale of things, it's really sweet. And he has had a very rude awakening. Now, I don't know if the church has some kind of mind-wiping thing that they could give him, but if not, I mean, is Mary just going to leave him there? Is Mary going to, I assume she'll be going after Ava, but surely they'll want to bring him in there because he knows too much now? Like, he can't just have random civilians. Although I suppose if a civilian ran around rambling about demons and stuff, people would just think he was crazy. But kind of, you have a duty of care to make sure he's okay if you're nice, I think. I don't know. I love Mary because she comes across as the one that should be like tough and hard as nails and a bite, but she is such a big, we've already seen how big her heart is, and I think she sees a lot of maybe herself and some of Shannon in Ava, and I do think she's going to probably try and go after Ava, but this was a lot. I completely understand what Ava is doing and why she's doing it, because she has had a miserable life. She's been abused, she was injured, she lost her family, and now she has a second chance at life, but she's being told, oh, you've got to go into this really terrifying world and become our great saviour. Now, that would scare anyone on the best of times. And, you know, this time around, when she's become face to face with it, someone died protecting her, sort of. So, you know, there is this, her running away makes total sense, because she cannot deal with this. She's not in a place to deal with it. What they needed to do when they first had her was treat her with respect, as though she mattered, as though the fact that she was freaking out made sense, it was valid, and help her see that it can be a good thing and that they can protect her, and that, you know, maybe she could be a slightly different class of warrior nun to begin with, where instead of more being like kept protected, but be like, oh, there's a demon there, because it's the red ones they can't see. I guess they can see the Trask demon. So, you know, there's a lot more. I think there are ways they could have dealt with Ava that would have made her less likely to run away, which I'm guessing is where we will get to. Then we have the priest. Now, I do not trust the priest still. The cardinal, I dislike more, because the priest, at least, it seems kindly. He seems to genuinely care about Ava. Maybe he does. Maybe he recognises that he slept with her mother. I mean, that would be a bit too soap opera-y, but, you know, he had a dark past. But I don't trust him. And it could be as simple as just he wants to keep his grip of power here. Maybe Shannon found out something about him and was going to turn him in, and that's why he had it killed. Maybe it was the cardinal, maybe it was somebody else. But I do feel like him going to Arrow Technologies and doing it what he did, he did show her that the church was not one united front, and he got the cardinal's plan to be messed up. He got her to, she stole it from the cardinal. So he can now say, oh well, if only we'd left it here with us, it would be safe if it was left in the convent, or whatever they call it they are. So I do think that he is devious and cunning, and I don't think that that was as much for like I trust in God, and you will not hurt Ava, and you will not go to war, and all will be well. You know, there's definitely some dodgy stuff there. I did like that we got to see Arrowtech, the woman, I don't know her name, but I do remember the name of her company, so that's a step. Her motivation here, the reason she's quite so zealous in it all, is because she thinks it's the only way to save her son, and she kind of feels like the church has been able to make this possible for a very long time and hasn't, and her son is dying, I guess, but if she can make a portal to a world where you never die, he will never die. I mean, he might be like 7 forever. Do you age in heaven? I don't know. But she's doing it out of a real place of desperation. She's turning her scientific mind to this. And that does make her scary in a way, because there are probably very few lines she would not cross for her child, which, you know, I respect, but I also think that's very scary. So yeah, this episode, it was a lot. Towards like the end, until the end, I was thinking, oh, this is like a good episode. It's kind of just like, it's not like a huge episode for the show, you know, you've got kind of got Ava running away and her and JC being sweet, we're learning a bit more here and there, and then that final scene with Lilith, I did not expect it. And yeah, I feel really bad that there is a small part of me that was like, you deserve it. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I am, on the grander scale of things, I am sad that Lilith died, but I also think in a way, it's good that she died a hero rather than living to continue to become the villain. But yeah, this episode was a lot. I do not blame Ava for running, and I'm very intrigued about Mary and how she's going to go after her, what she's going to do with JC, and there's like so much that I'm like, what's going to happen? So yeah, this episode was brilliant. I'm loving this show. Like I said at the beginning, if you would like to watch the unedited version of this reaction, it's up on my Patreon, along with next week's next two episodes unedited, and the next week's edited episode is up a week early on Patreon before it gets to YouTube. But yeah, the unedited is up 2 weeks early on Patreon, and the edited is up 1 week if you'd like to check those out. So I'm loving this show. Thank you so much for watching.